We don't care who you wanna ship. We're gonna read your fic and we're gonna give it shipwrecked. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Welcome to Shipwrecked, the show where we bring to life the internet's best and worst fanfiction. We are your hosts, Cris, Ryan, and Taneene, and this week we have an extra special episode for you. We're going to be reading an anthology of fanfiction from the user on fanfiction.net called Loodlelood. And if you've listened to any of our previous episodes, if you tuned into the Big Bang Theory episode, you'll remember we read 2 fics by this individual, and we were so smitten that we decided to devote an entire episode to Loodlelood. So thank you, Loodlelood. We have no idea who the fuck you are, but you've really
made all of our lives brighter.
So much brighter. So Loodlelood, we read before, he had a fic about Guy Fieri. That wasn't the one we started with, though. It was the Big Bang Theory fic Bazinga Geddon.
Oh, yeah. That was a solid one.
Yeah, and it's just, he has like a real intensity about, I'm gendering Loodlelood. I'm sorry.
I'll refer to Loodlelood as a she so that it's even.
Yeah, it's even. I guess we should just call Loodlelood.
I just refuse to refer to Loodlelood, period.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Loodlelood has a real intensity in their voice, their literary voice, and they're very prolific. They have, let's see, how many fics is it?
20, I think.
18. They have 18 stories on fanfiction.net. They joined in 2016, and I think their most recent fic was July 25th of 2017. Yep. So
nice.
Loodlelood has been inactive for a little bit, but
please come back. We love you.
Loodlelood's bio is this author has written 18 stories for Metal Gear, Fate/Stay Night, XCOM, King of the Hill, Elder Scroll series, Garfield, Dark Souls, Mythology, Naruto, Frozen,
Caillou.
Warhammer. What?
Caillou.
Caillou? What's Caillou?
It's a show on the children's.
Is it an...
Yeah, it's that little bald child, right?
I don't remember. Sorry. I thought it was an anime. Caillou, Frozen, Warhammer, Big Bang Theory, miscellaneous TV shows, Castlevania, RWBY, don't know what that is, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Zootopia, Kamen Rider, and
Danganronpa.
Kibu. No, I don't know any of that.
Gaku,
I tried.
Zatsubo, no, Kokusei.
Okay, so you're a weeb.
Yeah, I have some periods in my life.
Big weeb. And then it says, there are terrible things here. Terrible things that were not meant to bring into existence. When will the government stay my sinful hand? At this point, I hope to God I'm still being ironic. Same.
Yeah, it's
just
all of us.
Big same. So, yeah.
So, I wouldn't be surprised if we came back, because honestly, all of these are just so good.
They're really... I mean, we might have to do another, in a year from now, another Loodlelood episode. It's just
so much. So,
and we know he's probably shit. They are probably shit posting, but
But is it truly shit posting if it's such a diamond?
It's art at this point.
It's just God tier shit posting, yeah.
And as they say, they hope they're still being ironic, but at this point, are they?
At a certain point, you just kind of cross a line and you're like, is this just kind of who I am now?
I've never liked this many stories from the same fanfiction author.
Oh, I have. But that was during my darker supernatural period.
We all have our shame.
And we all hide it.
Yeah, but not Loodlelood. Loodlelood's just like, fuck you.
Loodlelood is out and proud.
We do know that they are from America because there's a little American flag.
Woo. Oh, they have a little message thing. Anyway.
Yeah. We should message them.
We should hit them up.
We're going to hit them up.
right, so
our goal is ultimately to get Loodlelood to guest on this podcast.
Right.
That'd be amazing.
Like, big dream.
Just freestyle fan fiction for us.
So I'm going to vote. I'm just really interested in hearing 50 Shades of Garfield.
Okay, so that's mine. So this is
yours.
Story. So I'm starting in chapter 3 because I feel like it really captures the essence of what he's going for.
Okay.
So 1 second.
I'm ready.
So 50 Shades of Garfield, tag, kill me, please.
It's accurate.
Deep breaths. Where the Garfield wind blows, I shall find him. Garfieldingly.
Shit.
It had been 4 years since Garfielded Garfield after Garfield revealed himself to Garfield once more. Garfield's bitterness towards Garfield had grown in the Garfields they split apart. And these feelings drove Garfield to denounce the Garfield of Garfield. He had withstood Garfield's Garfield long enough, and so he Garfielded back. In his Garfield had Garfielded Garfield. It was something he would never be able to take back. Garfield now...
It's a lot of Garfielding.
You're telling me. Garfield now trekked across the desert wastes of Australia, his feet displacing the Garfield he stepped on. The windswept sand was a biting sensation as the grains of Garfield dug into Garfield's Garfield. Yet Garfield would endure. Garfield looked up towards a starry night, the array of Garfields shining brilliantly in the Garfield of the night. Garfield nearly lost himself in their beauty. The beauty of the celestial bodies that would forever cast a loving gaze on the world. The brilliantly gleaming Garfields in the Garfielded their Garfield upon the Garfield upon which Garfield Garfieldishly Garfielded. Garfielding back on Garfield's Garfield. The light of these Garfields was otherworldly. Their sickly green light shifted and twirled into shapes akin to the indescribable letters of some unknowable horror script. The winds whispered sweet Garfields to Garfield. Sweet, sweet Garfields which wrapped around the mind and heart and body and soul and life and death and Garfield. The uncountable Garfields that had made up the Garfield shifted erratically. Garfield rolled his Garfields back into their sockets so that Garfield gazed upon the Garfield that had taken root in the Garfield of life. Garfield was his Garfield, and the Garfields on high above whispered the secrets of Garfield, secrets telling a Garfield born in the time before Garfield, back when Garfield was before time, but it was Garfield's always so. For once, there was a lone star drifting in a sea of song that played from the maw of uncountable nothings. These were not the Garfields of the days after, whose songs sang of tones of Garfield, but rather the Garfields of Garfield before. I saw them on that mountain. People Garfield, that there's nothing out there that can't be explained. If Garfield were true, then I wouldn't have Garfielded the only Garfield that gave a Garfield about me. I still see her. Garfield's Garfield in angles. Garfields weren't Garfields, so never was one such as this false person who never was. I can't see her because she never was there. She was never there. She was never there. She was never there. And I don't believe you don't. Garfield is the Garfield way, but Garfield sees as the Garfield do. Garfield is as Garfield was. Garfield was the Garfield true. There can't be stars where the light can't penetrate. There is Garfield. I heard songs coming from the lake. They were beautiful without the context of thought. I just can't shake the feeling of hearing Garfield is the Garfield way, but Garfield sees as the Garfield do. Garfield is as Garfield was the Garfield true. The genetic variation exhibited in a species may seem as though a miracle, but take into consideration 2 sheets of paper, both white, both square. Now imagine a strip is cut from both, strip A and strip B. Strip A is left as is, stained only by the passage of time. Then take strip B and imagine the individual cutting the strip, giving the strip an alteration. Let us say that this alteration is that it ripped the strip in 2. Let us say that one half is folded into strange shapes that defy the 2D form, and that the other half is soaked in the being's blood and mashed into several strands and balls. These two, of course, are then recombined into something that no longer resembles a sheet of paper. This is what it means to glimpse into that which humanity was never meant to glimpse.
Fuck.
That's the end of the chapter. And the story.
So much. I can't. I'm not.
My mind didn't fully wrap around that. It only could take it in
And
little
it was the
bits.
Garfield bits.
Which is... It was the Garfield bits. I've been Garfielding my entire life, apparently.
Oh, yeah.
Can I go next? Oh
yeah,
my god.
go next.
Okay, so I picked mine. Mine is called Drac is Back. I picked that because I love Dracula. Anyone who knows me knows I'm going through a really weird vampire phase right now.
Is this the
This is a Castlevania thing, and I've never played or seen Castlevania. But anyway.
No, but you are going through a vampire phase. You got Vampire Diaries, you got True Blood.
I think I'm ordering Scream Factory's new reissue of Rockula. Yeah, boy.
I feel partially responsible for this because of our vampire blood
No,
vodka
I've always
sacrifice.
liked vampires. I wanted 2018 to be the year of the vampire for me. It's okay.
Well, I think it can be the year of the vampire
As
for
it
all
should
of us.
be. God damn.
Don't rope me in.
Ryan,
Yes.
it's happening.
No, Ryan started watching Vampire Diaries, so and then we gotta pick like 2 episodes of True Blood for him to watch, and then we can do the True Blood.
It should be one with a lot of Sam butt, because Sam is the cutest.
I really do like
Sam
Sam's butt.
He's the cute.
Anyway.
Honestly, though, can I tell you this, guys? If they ever had to do a reboot of Jurassic Park, I would want Sam Trammell to play Alan Grant.
I feel this deeply inside me.
But like Jeff Goldblum should still be Jeff Goldblum, and then they should make out.
Yes.
Okay, on to my fic. I know.
Anyway, yeah, I'm flustered now. Okay.
You guys doing okay over there?
Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm having a lot of feelings.
I got a lot of feelings and it's weird.
All right, you guys ready for Drac is Back? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Come back,
okay,
Drac.
It was across the vast expanse of the Chuck E. Cheese ball pit that I cast my gaze, my hungry eyes searching for the truth even now as I waded through the viscous waves of plastic spheres which assailed me from all sides. I stood forlorn in the midst of an endless sea, an expanse as eternal as my presence in this world. Was it my curse to stand eternally as a pillar of this world? Was it my place in existence never to be filled by another who cursed me with this unending life? Sir? Please, the ball pit is for children, sir. Oh, what?
That's so good!
Oh, what suffering is laid upon my shoulders that I should even now find myself struggling in the face of evils in this world and those who inhabit it. This fool, a mortal, stood before me daring to presume some semblance of authority. The filth of the mortal man was a disgusting thing, compounded further by their arrogance. Humans were truly disgusting, and I will never forgive them.
This is the best fic already that I've ever heard in my entire life.
Sir, the ball
please.
pit is for children. The full might of the Dark Lord is upon you, I shouted in defiance of the man's evil, pushing the fool down and running out of the building. On my way out of his twisted web of lies, I kicked a small child and stole their pizza. A small contribution for the evils that had wrought upon me. I exited into the world beyond, the sun blaring down on me. How foolish the humans were, not realizing I had brought sunscreen. The hilarity of their arrogance overtook me. I burst into laughter. A deep and resonating laughter telling of the folly of man, yet saturated in a melancholic tone which hinted at the sorrows held deep within my heart that I swear to God isn't a phase, Mom. I rushed with all the speed of a racing wolf, gaining distance on its prey, towards some shit, I guess. Hands up, mister, this is the police, came a voice saturated in the foolishness of youth. The mortal was small indeed, coming up not even to my kneecaps, but I saw through his ruse. In appearance he was not but a child playing police, but I had known the truth all along. He was an officer of the law, pretending to be a child, pretending to be an officer of the law, but I had anticipated this. Look upon the endless abyss that is the soul of man. not a shred of light to be found within you. It matters not, for now you fall. Ah! The child screamed, having been picked up by the foot and thrown into a nearby car. The child wailed endlessly, but tried movement anyways. The child began climbing the car, sobbing all the way, but luckily I, Dracula, had sick anti-air action. My foot found its place above the child's head before being slammed down. The small officer crashed into the ground before bouncing back up once more from the force of the impact. Weary of my combo counter, I continued my onslaught with a retinue of kicks, jabs, and funky fresh beats. I stood there looking upon my foe, having slowed to a crawl in the heat of the moment. I realized then what I must do. Activating my astral finish, I drew a fucking gun and blasted that little shit the fuck out of Compton. I wondered why it had to be this way. Was there some purpose to our suffering? What cold hand could guide our fate so calmly toward inevitable destruction? I did wish to know the man who condemned so many to such a fate, but then I thought it fitting how poorly I know myself. Amusing, truly, how one's hypocrisy is seldom realized, save for those few flashes of tormented realization. I had found solace in deflecting the blame for all this world's evils on humanity and its patron. But no, I knew just how similar my own evil could be said to be. I finally understood. I am the government. It was then... It was then that the voices in the back of my head told me to head to the nearest car wash.
Oh, dark. That's a dark moment when the voices in the back of your head are telling you to head to the nearest car wash.
I reached the strange facility and encountered a mortal man preparing to drive away with his automobile. Realizing I needed wheels, I strode in silence toward the man with a flourish of style revealed my 9mm. The fuck is a man? A bitch-ass motherfucker, I exclaimed, decrying the evils of man as I jacked the fucker's wheels. After some sick kung fu, I kung fu'd him so good that he got kung fu'd with my kung fu because I was kung fuing him with the kung fu, which was stronger. I drove serenely across the interstate highways of America. The vaporwave of the stereo brought my thoughts into a state of peace, which was further accentuated by the beauty of the setting sun giving way to darkness. I drove onwards toward my destiny, toward a world beyond what I knew, where my soul could find peace. I was going to be a drift racer.
Yes.
That's fan-fucking-tastic.
I had a great time just now.
This is the Dracula that I know and love.
Right, yeah.
The only Dracula I've ever known and loved.
Yeah, it's this one.
I'm crying.
I don't doubt that.
I've never loved anything as much as I love that fan fiction. God damn it. I'm ruined.
We're all canceled. Show's canceled.
No, it's canceled.
It's not a Loodlelood podcast.
I feel deeply touched and inspired in a way I haven't since I read the first Harry Potter.
I feel deeply touched and inspired in a way since the first time I heard that other Guy Fieri fic.
Oh yeah, that's true. That was
Loodlelood
good.
Keeps touching my heart and my brain.
I'd also like to take this moment to point out that he has 2 Garfield fics.
Listen, fuckers.
There's
this
another
Dracula fic is the best one.
No,
Oh,
it is.
Really good, yes.
It's you had me at ball pit.
Sir, the ball pit
so...
is for children. Classic. Fucking classic.
Oh man. Okay, so I'm gonna close this out here. This Loodlelood fic is. I'm only gonna read the first chapter. It has 5 chapters, a total of 4,300 words. So the title of this is Cosmic Diabetes and the Relationship of Ice Skating and Nihilism. And it's tagged as Elder Scroll series plus mythology crossover. Mostly what it says in the description is join me as I explore the limits of contemporary views on bullshit. The philosophical messages found within are buried underneath an insurmountable pile of shit. I can guarantee you your life will be changed for the better. So it's a strong guarantee. It's what I'm taking from this. So, I want to apologize for what I'm about to read, but I'm also not gonna be sorry. So, there's a subtitle also. Sermons on Bullshit, a delve into what the fuck. I feel like I need to adopt a new voice to read this fic. Yes. So just need a moment to get into character. Across the ineffable expanse of an ice skating rink, the duality of humankind's conscious soul is laid bare for all to see. The frosted sea by which we fumble and fail houses the frozen dreams of many a prior innocent. Imagine, if you will, one who sought the sight of the loved yet unloving, only to subject oneself to the utmost humility of the ice. If such one was to theoretically seek such misery in the vain hopes of achieving some semblance of comfort, then which occurrence might be claimed worse? The lack of an sorry. Need a moment. The lack of an appearance from a certain individual, or if the individual were to witness to your trials and tribulations, such is the duality of your struggle made clear. Was there but a single outcome that might have held the comfort one sought? Then why seek it? Verily, the fields of the ice rink are an unforgiving metaphor for the dangers of love, nihilism, diabetes, and great many more. If the humanity within oneself wishes enlightenment on that which this madman might speak of such matters, then shove deep the words of this varied pondering within you. When I was but a fish, swimming downstream in accordance to the warm whisperings of nature, I happened to glance upon a stone falling from a tree. A fish of pacing. I was able to watch as from the stone a tree bearing a great many more was born. I saw then from the scale lens of my fish sight that these rocks were as the eggs of... don't know that word. Alright. All are as we are born.
It's what's the word? It's like Nordish?
I'm very white.
What's the
Is
word?
that the word you're looking for?
Nordish. Yggdrasil. It's a Nordish word.
Yeah.
So, why?
Yeah.
Yggdrasil. Okay.
Yeah, just go with it.
all are as all are as Yggdrasil.
Yeah.
For within all lie the I can't get through this. Fuck. Okay. All are as Yggdrasil, for within all lie the eggs of the earth, which bear eggs greater more. As I saw my fish flesh of scales recede to reveal that I was merely dust in the wind, I saw that we are born of dust, so too are the rocks that support our lands. My fish dust, of the rock, of the egg, of the tree, of the earth, blew in the winds of destiny, and by chance were devoured by an eagle that was also me. Spreading the wings of the former fish, the eagle seared its eyes on the light of moons beyond. Who among the unenlightened has sat in wonder at the beauty of the carefree stones? We are that which we also... We are that which we see as we peer into the dark innards of the bones of our soul. Yet even so we deny decadence while seeking it out. We hunger insatiably for that which we think is wrong, whilst also seeking what we truly want. If a distinction between the two exists, then we may be hard-pressed to discover it. Regardless, we suffer from all roots, taken from all goals. Perhaps it is the burden of the sentient to gaze in wonder of the mindless stones and weep that we carry their world's burdens. Sorry, I'm crying a little bit.
We're all crying a little bit.
Just a lot.
Crying a little bit. Okay. Yeah.
Or just a little lot.
Speaking swift of the enfished eagle of revelations, one may find comprehension dwindling. If we find confusion in these wise words, then by all means hang your ornaments upon the halls of your home on the home. Seek relaxation in the knowledge that my truth shall flow effervescent into you, all in due time. Look back on what you possess and feel content that my teachings shall never leave you behind, but rather nestle deep within your enraptured will. Such as what you need not yet take pride in. Do so without remorse, for you are that which feels the heart of knowledge. Seek now the denouncement of ice skating. Of the great earth shits, there are many. The shitting earth envelopes the unwitting. Our lands hunger and seek our blood to fulfill the pacts of our ancestors. Think not of surrender. Look to the skies and see your future. The stars refuse to blink, wishing to gaze upon you for all that the time shall ever pass. March forth to our shared destiny and unshackle your want. Want is all that we are, and we are the future. Therefore, we want that which is to come, as we have already established. The encroachment upon these truths may be called diabetes of the bindings, for the blood sugar of our imprisonment runs thin even now. Let me tell your vision a story. Once, as I cartwheeled through the grasses of your youth, I happened to witness a simple butterfly resting on a leaf. This insect lived a life of complacency, and I felt anger and denied it the chance to achieve anything but what it could. That is why the butter cannot fly, but but the sorry. I'm really sorry. Loodlelood just brings something out in me. I don't really know what to say. But the bitter insect grew tired of its limited existence and sought a means to deliver itself from itself. From this unholy quest was born the practice of card tricks, wherein a lost soul seeks to fill the void within itself through sorcerer's witchery. Speak not to the condemned, for through my teachings you will come to learn of their tragic misgivings. Rather, seek to your wandering mind and body with the esteemed act of walking in circles. Seek enlightenment. Do so in search of the 12 keys. When the inferno of the envenomed deep calls for your name, answer only in denial. Speak quickly the inverse of your beliefs so as to confuse the harbinger.
Sound it out.
Sorry, it's a difficult word for me. I'm sorry. Harbinger. Let loose your heart's aching, and decry the evils present for their involvement. The shame of the once noble Harbinger will flood the gateway with tears and obscure the goals of the infernal. Use this opportunity to show that being your truest self-reflection and take safety in the reversal of its spheres. The gate will become the wall, and its keeper shall see who it was. Grab then your instruments of longitude and latitude and direct the being to the accursed locality. When you were merely this author, there was a distinct lack of these words. This was amended when you were not the author, but rather I, given that every being on this earth might have inscribed these words at any time, yet failed to do so, then the existence of the individual purpose is shown to be self-evident. Let not the common perception of the collective royalty deceive you, for there's a stark contrast between the breadth between kin and ken, the distance of one's personal relations and that of one's knowledge are as of yet too great to measure. Fuck Jerry. And that's the end of the first chapter.
Huh. Taking it all in.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Fuck him.
I just want to know who Jerry is, man.
Yeah, fuck
Hey,
him.
it's Barry's
Jerry.
dad's voice. Throwback to an earlier episode.
And for those of you who are interested in reading more of this, there's 4 more chapters. So
Support your art,
God.
local art.
Support local art.
Support your local
Support
artists.
your local
Anyway.
art.
Please support.
Well, there's just absolutely nowhere we can go from here.
No. I mean, I know that there was a message in there. There were several messages.
I am just
And what I got from
in emotion.
I am mostly crying at this point. It took a lot out of me to embody the spirit of
To
Loodlelood.
profit,
So
Loodlelood.
the prophet Loodlelood. Sorry.
All hail.
Yeah. What mostly scares me about this is that, like, what is Loodlelood doing now with all of this intellect and creativity and knowledge and like a super verbose.
Watch, Loodlelood's just actually a 13-year-old person living their life.
No, if Loodlelood's like 13, man, I'm gonna be so sad. I'm gonna have to message his parents too.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna be so excited. He's
Loodlelood
only 13 now.
I would,
Are you kidding me?
I
No.
would do all their college apps right now. Like they're done.
Yeah,
They don't need.
I'll just submit all these fan fictions. Just here.
Yeah, they are for sure done. I'd like you to know that I have sent Loodlelood a message now, linking them to our podcast and telling them that we have dedicated an episode to them that will come out shortly.
But
so
you guys will
we
be
might
the
get a
first to know.
response, we might not.
Our supportive and faithful listeners. We love all
You will
2 of you.
Mhm. We know who you are. We do not. We have no fucking idea who listens to us. In fact, if you do listen to us and you're not some bot in Russia, then like, please hit us up. It would just be so great to get some encouragement because even though I think I just found what I needed in Loodlelood's sermon here,
Give us a good review
you know,
on
so fan
iTunes.
support
It
is
helps,
always
get our
appreciated.
name out
So
there, even though,
yeah,
please,
yeah, you know,
we're
review us on
delicious.
Yelp. I mean,
No, please review me on Yelp. Let me.
yeah, we're really
How-
good, super tasty.
How hard is it to make a
to make a
restaurant on
restaurant
Yelp?
on
Maybe
Yelp?
having a restaurant might help.
Well,
What if our restaurant just served cinnamon toast crunch because we'd get
That'd be a
10 billion
great
amazing reviews?
restaurant.
Everything is canceled now. Loodlelood, if you're listening to this at any point, just know that we would love to have you on the podcast. We really appreciate the work that you've done. We think you're very talented. You have a lot of insight, a lot of energy. We just hope you're doing well.
just hope you're okay.
Yeah,
you're
I'm
the
mostly
best
okay.
You're
Well,
more
I
than
think we know
okay.
that you're not okay.
great.
We
You're
hope
definitely
you're
not okay. You're great.
You're great.
You might not feel great. We'd like you to know that you are great.
Wow.
I have like 10 tears in each eye right now.
Did you count them?
No, but I can feel them.
I can feel them. Just like
I can feel my
we can
tears.
all feel Loodlelood.
Yeah, the message of Loodlelood.
The gospel of Loodlelood.
Yeah, Loodlelood's basically like reincarnated Jesus, so it's the second coming. It's Loodlelood. If we had more listeners, we'd get hate mail for that. I just want to get to the point where I get hate mail. Is that
That's
too
what
much
I
to
want.
ask?
Then I can have a podcast where we just read it.
I just want to read hate mail.
Hate mail
I'm not getting
podcast. That's
enough
what I
hate.
want.
To all the haters listening to this podcast, you're so quiet.
You're so full of
I
shit.
like to have an organic hater. I don't like to.
Just make
I don't want to sit here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
yeah.
Like,
No,
I
I
don't
don't
want
want
to
like
stand here and
a
start
fake hater.
inciting
No one just.
haters now. We just they'll come organically.
If anything was gonna incite hating, it would just be our fucking existence. So
Whoa,
I'm already doing a
I'm-
pretty good job of
I'm a
that.
goddamn delight. Okay.
no, I mean I know you are, but you know, speak for yourself. So
Yeah. Excuse you, I am a goddamn terror.
yeah, it really just depends on the day, I guess.
On that note,
On that note, so yeah, thanks for tuning into this episode of Shipwrecked. If you have any comments, concerns, but you have a lot of concerns again, or better yet, fic recs or episode suggestions, then you should tweet us at ShipwreckedCast or visit our website at shipwreckedpodcast.com. From our OT3 to yours, so long, and see you next week. And if you're bored and you have any extra time, you should go to fanfiction.net and you should look up the user Loodlelood.
No, if you're bored and you have time, you should review us on iTunes.
And follow us on Twitter while we're plugging our shit,
Follow
dog.
us on Twitter.
Shipwreckcast at twitter.com.
That's right.
Fuck you.